Hello everybody, welcome to the Gaz Williams Show, and tonight I have got a bunch of cool things happening. Really pleased you could join me. This is the first of the Gaz Williams Show. I don't mean that title to sound totally egotistical, but it's going to be my show, so I was trying to think of a name for it, and I thought, well, okay, I'm going to go with that. Yes, hope everybody's well in these very trying times. Lots of horrible things afoot, but at least we've got music, or hopefully you've got music to immerse ourselves in. That certainly helps me a lot. Anyway, on tonight's show, there's a few things really. Anyone who's caught any previous streams will know that I am delving into Eurorack, and yes, that's going to be the next step is going to happen tonight. So if we have a look here, we can see that we have the Mini Brute from Arturia, and the Subharmonicon from Moog, and also, as from the last episode, the A119 from Dopefer, which is an envelope follower. And the Subharmonicon has gone in the rack. And as I've promised, the only thing I've done so far is connect it to make sure it works, and I haven't played with it at all. I wanted to make the first time I play with it tonight, really. Let's have a look here. How does this look? So there I am in the corner there. So what I'm hoping to do here, really, is investigate how these two devices can work well together, and also where am I going to go next with it? Well, I can announce at the very end of this video, I'm going to do a modular reveal. Yes, I do actually have another module lined up, which I'm going to reveal at the end of this episode, and I'm going to, in next week's episode, install it in and have a play. I might have a little play with it before next episode. We'll see. Well, we'll see if you think that's cheating or not, if cheating is indeed the right word. But as it goes, I haven't played with this setup yet, so this is still a mystery to me. You may have seen videos about the Subharmonicon. You may even have seen my video about the Subharmonicon from Moog. It's their latest synthesizer, and it really is quite a special, lovely thing. Now let's see if this is all working. I should be able to go up. Let's get that away. No. Yes. Okay. It's a bit dark, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, so that's all right, isn't it? That lets you see. I'm going to try and that's my shaky hands there. I can bring in this little camera so we can have a little nose at what's going on there. Let me just lighten that screen. Yes, this is giving a game away. This is indeed Filmic Pro on an iPhone. Right. So there we go. We can see it in all its glory. Now, I won't go on about what this is in this video because there's plenty of videos explaining it. All I'll say is it's a synthesizer and a sequencer, and it uses some very unique divisions, subdivisions, hence its name. Now, on the other hand, the Arturia Microbrute 2 is an analog monosynth with a sequencer built in as well. So in some ways, there's some similarities, but then there are many, many, many differences. Okay, let's come away from that. Okay, what I'm going to have to do periodically, though, is check in with the comments and make sure everything's working. I want to do some sound checks as well to see that everything's good. Let me just have a little nose here. Yeah, so I'm just figuring things out at the moment. I mean, this whole kind of live stream thing is, obviously the circumstances have accelerated this, but I'm launching a show. I want to do a show, and the show hopefully is going to get more interesting and slicker as I go along. How can I forget? Of course, in tonight's show, at the halfway point, well, let's just say in half an hour, a very special guest is going to be joining me. I have announced who that guest is, so that guest is indeed Lisa Bella Donna, who is an astonishing musician. I saw her do a gig earlier this year in Los Angeles, and it's amazing. She is so totally in touch with the kind of the cosmic, the thing that we want to find when we make music. She is completely in touch with. So hopefully, yes, she is going to do some performances for us as well. And so that's really exciting. So yes, you heard it. That's what's happening in this show. And in coming weeks, I've got some amazing guests already lined up. So I think this is going to be pretty good. So yes. Anyway, let's think. So what I haven't got set up in this current thing is a good way of viewing comments yet again. So I apologise if there's any action going on there. I will look in a moment. But let's just get back to the action though here. So, sound check. Yeah. Let's see. So, okay. So as I mentioned, these things, they should be able to do some quite nice stuff together. So let me have a look. What's initially set up at the moment? I've got the VCA output of the Subharmonicon coming in to the external input on the Mini Brute. So that is like a very, very simple way of just getting audio really from that one into that one. And then the Mini Brute is then plugged into the mixer. So out of its regular audio out. Also, out the back of the Mini Brute is a MIDI cable, which is going through a adapter into a little jack socket there. So we've got MIDI coming in to the Subharmonicon from the Mini Brute. So that will mean that I can give musical notes to the Subharmonicon and also clock information as well. Now, I have got the manual somewhere. I might have to be grabbing the Subharmonicon manual. I'm just going to assume for now, though, that it's going to lock onto an external input clock from MIDI, but there is a clock input as well here, so I could patch out a clock as well. So for those of you in the chat room who's booing me already for using a MIDI connection between, that's that's not Eurorack. You've got to patch every single thing in. Well, let's do that. So I might go back to MIDI. I'm going to unplug it for now. So as I say, the only thing that's connecting at the moment is this audio out and into here. Oh, I should mention, some people have been a little bit snidey about the Subharmonicon, saying, well, it is essentially just like a bunch of Eurorack modules all put in together there. Now, I'm going to quote Mr. Mylar Melodies, good friend, and someone who you should absolutely check out. I'm sure everyone knows Mylar by now. But anyway, someone has asked him a question about how, can you make a Subharmonicon with Eurorack modules? And he goes, yeah, good thought experiments, but to make this thing out of modules, he suggests that you need a master clock source, 2 4-step sequencers, 4 clock dividers, 6 oscillators, 2 pitch quantizers, 2 AR envelopes, a 24 dB filter, a VCA, a 6-channel mixer with drive, 2 switched mults, an attenuator, MIDI note CC to CV, and also he also says, and also you wouldn't have any of the normaling going on. The normaling, of course, is what is, the stuff that kind of links up without having to patch. So I thought that was quite interesting because clearly that takes a lot of modules to achieve this. And this is a really beautiful, interesting synthesizer, as I'm sure many of you are aware of. Hopefully when Lisa joins us as well, we'll see what she's been up to with the Subharmonicon as well. Actually, I think she's got 2 in her rig as well. So, and a whole lot more, as we'll see on that little tour. That's really exciting. Can't wait to show you guys that. Okay, so as I mentioned, I've got just the audio out, coming out and into here. So next thing, let's have a look. Got my little cables down here. I want to get the clock then. So I'm going to send, I'll try it this way, where I'm going to send the clock from the Mini Brute into the Subharmonicon. So I guess the easiest way of testing that then is going to be to adjust the tempo and then hear the Subharmonicon change. So if I just push play on the Subharmonicon, let's just see what's going on with it at the moment. I can't remember where I left it. That's okay. Wow. Somewhere like that. Hang on. Right, let's just play that again. Sorry about that. Wow. Okay. How's that for levels? Oh, I'm asking that. Right. One moment. Let me just give you a... Let's give you that a view for now, so you can look at that. Whilst I'm going to figure out a way of viewing these comments. If there are indeed any comments. Yes. Let's see what's going on. Okay, one moment. I'm going to have to look into this. I'm looking into this comments thing again because I'm trying to use Restream at the moment. So yeah, so I need to look into that. I apologise for anyone who is contributing. I might be able to see. I can do it on my phone, can't I? Sorry about that. I will figure this bit out. This is the boring bit of the show so far. Well, what is it so far? It's all boring. Get on with it. Right. But yes, I would like to know that you are indeed there and I'm not talking to myself. Yeah. So cool. So as I mentioned, in about actually more like 16 minutes, Lisa's going to be joining us. So I better get my crap together before then. Yeah. Anyway, so as I say, I'm going to connect up this. I'm going to see how many interesting patches I can do. I'm also, when Lisa joins, I'm going to pick her brains as well and find out what she recommends. Okay. Yeah, I'm all a little bit it's all a bit of a mystery if indeed there are anybody out there watching. I haven't got any figures. I don't know how many of you are out there, so that's cool. Nice. Okay, so I'm streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. That's it. I'm basically streaming on a bunch of platforms tonight. So what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, is I will check the messages and at the end of the show afterwards. But in the meantime, let's just get stuck into this then. Okay, so we're talking about patching across. I'm going to now take out the clock then. So I want to find a clock out from this. I've barely looked at a lot of this stuff because I've been waiting to do this. Okay, so our clock. So we got our sync out. Let's try to take that sync out there, and we'll put that into clock, and I'll put that into a clock in there. I think that's kind of good. Let's set that off. Oops. Let's take this out altogether. We'll just there's a tiny bit of that playing. Okay. I'm assuming I'm going to have that running. Now, I've got that clock going in. If I push play on this... Yes! Let's just make really short, little, snappy little blips for the moment. We've got the clicks going on from the... Yeah. Okay. Look, there we go. Okay, so I'm quite excited about this already. So I'm so basic. I am really, really basic when it comes to this stuff. So yeah. So I'm quite pleased that I've achieved that so far. But anyway, it's not particularly musical. Right, that's cool then. So when I press stop, the sequencer is stopping. It's waiting on clock pulses, which is coming from my gate. Hurrah! So that is indeed my first success here. That's good. Okay, so now let me think what else I might want to do. I think it might be nice to be able to play the VCOs from this keyboard here. So let's do that. I think that would be quite interesting. In fact, there is paraphony, isn't there, I think, on the Subharmonicon. Now, I wonder if I use... No, I'm not going to use MIDI. I'm going to stick to patching because I'm trying to embrace the patch cable. Now, if you could see around this room just how many cables there are for, now I've got a bunch of cameras. I've got loads of HDMI cables running everywhere. I've got microphone cables. I've got MIDI cables. I've got loads of audio channels, all sorts of stuff. So, the idea of embracing a format that is all around the cable, that's one of the main reasons why I have avoided it until now. However, now I am trying to face up to this, so I have to get patching. So anyway, yes. Oh gosh, I'm sure you all got lots of interesting ideas what I should be patching it to. So in a moment, I have to check the messages. I'm getting anxious. Right. Okay. So let's come. So I want to get my VC. I want my keyboard out of here, don't I? So I guess that's CV. Is that gonna? Is a CV? No. Ooh, this is interesting. So MIDI. Okay. Does keyboard then? Will that, if I put, I'll have to send a gate signal as well, won't I? So if I put that into VCO1, right? Yeah, I'm going to need to send a gate signal from this one as well into that one. So every time I play, I'm hoping that keyboard out is going to just give me my notes out into the VCO1. I don't know if there's a way of grouping VCOs on this VCO, because I can plug into VCO1 into the sub. Okay, let's have a look. People say, don't be afraid, Gaz. It's all about trial and error. You know, there's not a lot you can do wrong. If you plug an out into an out or an in into an in, I don't think in many cases that's going to do a lot of damage. Or does it? Again, my naivety here. You know, I think it's highly unlikely you're going to electrocute yourself on a Eurorack system. Or is it? These are the questions that I need to seek out. Right, let's see now. Okay, time check. I'm just looking now. Okay, so 10 minutes to Lisa. Okay, so let me try and get some meaningful patching in before she joins us. And actually, there is something that I'm going to play a piece of music in between as well, and there is a little story that I'm looking forward to mentioning. I did see that Mr. Rick Alpin is around and about, and the story, well, I shall say no more, but may involve him. Right. Let's have a look. So I'm going to, right, so I've done my key. So I need to send a gate out as well. So keyboard gate there. And then I guess that's going to want to go into trigger. Yeah, I guess. Is it? Is trigger? Should we try it? Oh, no, hang on, that's a trigger out. No, so we don't want to trigger out. It's not clock. So what am I going to be driving the gate with? God, everyone's shouting. It's so obvious. Because I'm driving the VCO. I want to tell the VCO. That's telling the VCO what pitch to play, but it's not getting turned on. So I guess it's our VCA thing. God, look how dumb I am. Right. I'm like, this is where I really need the chat room. Oh, fiddlesticks. The chat room is, I need you. So I'm going to have a look. If I look on YouTube on my phone, maybe I'll be able to see it. If actually even, I think there's a way to do it through, Restream. I'm looking at it now and I'm not seeing it. Oh, I can see the chat. I can see the YouTube chat. Okay. Let's see. Oh, thanks. Thank you, everybody. Oh, nice. Loads of cool stuff being said in here. This is really cool. Okay, excellent. Sorry about this. I will find a way to do this. Yeah. Okay. Copyright strike. I said the word the. So, yeah, let's just see. Okay, so I'm trying to get my I'm trying to get the gate to drive. So that's like, you know, the most basic thing that you could possibly do. So let's see. So I want my gate. What am I doing? I'm sending my gate out. Where are we? I'm looking at the chat room now just for yeah, Rich, that is indeed what I'm doing. I'm looking at the chat room, got it on my knee. Oh, that's a clock out. So I'm taking... yeah, well, I don't want the sequencer to be running, do I? And it is an envelope, isn't it? Of course, I want to be sending the gate wants to be sending an envelope, I guess, isn't it? Because, let's see now, so here's my gate cable. So I'm already getting confused. God, so those Eurorack ninjas out there, remembering how everything is, there's some serious skills going on. Gate to trigger, 5th row down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is amazing. There it is, trigger. How cool. Okay, thank you so much. It was trigger. I saw trigger earlier. But so now, alrighty, yes. All right, yeah. So, do you know what? This is a lot of fun. Look how pleased I am with that really basic patch. I'm sure as I get a little bit more patchy, this is going to start to blow my mind. Right, thank you guys. Do you know what? Now I see the chat room. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm only seeing YouTube chat room at the moment. So anyone on Facebook or if indeed on Twitch or Twitter, that's where we're trying things out tonight. That's going to be, I apologise. So head over to YouTube if you want to join in the chat. Right. Yeah, nice to see you now in the chat room. That's really cool. I feel a little bit less kind of scared. Okay, so now I can play. Okay. Let's bring up the sub. Hang on. Because it's quite weird. So you've got the sub. Well, this is quite a cool thing of showing the Subharmonicon really in terms of just the harmonies that you can find on it. Because there is a pitch quantizer, you see, so you can hear that stepping is because I've got the pitch quantizer set into sort of 8 just intonation. So it will. So I think if you count all of these, I think there's 15 divisions. Okay, so that's kind of cool. That's the first oscillator, and it's 2 sub-oscillators. That's a bit peaky. So let's bring in that other oscillator. Oh, yeah. We've brought the beef now. Please increase your mic gain. Oh, my mic is quiet, is it? It sounds loud to me. Okay, I can do that. Wondering if that's any better for the mic. Super obnoxious. That's kind of cool, isn't it? But you can hear like the 6 oscillators on this thing is pretty mad. I've still got 1 to bring in. Let's do that. I say 6. I've got another 2 oscillators in this fella as well. So I could be. All I need to do is just bring up some things on here and then we can introduce this into the mix. But you see, herein is like, there's plenty of girth going on there, isn't it? I know they say you can't have too much girth, but yes. Okay, cool. Okay, time check. Ooh, yes, our guest is going to be joining us soon, and she'll be able to tell me really useful stuff. Really appreciate all the comments, though, so far. That is super cool. Right, yes. Now, I wonder how smooth all of this kind of stuff is going to go. But anyway, I will, in a moment, I'll do one more patch. Let's think. Now, one of the things that's missing on the Subharmonicon is any form of LFO. I kind of get that because when you're running the sequencer and you've got all this stuff going on, there's such a lot of movement coming from the sequencer. However, let's just see what would happen if I route the LFO. Well, actually, there's quite a lot of LFO capabilities in the Mini Brute 2. There are 2 dedicated LFOs. But then I think you can do things, like this AD envelope, you can make it loop, so that's essentially becomes an LFO as well. I think there might even be some more LFO possibilities. But anyway, let's take out then LFO 2, just because it's nearer to me, and I'm going to go LFO 2 out 2, and then what shall I have this control? Oh, it's kind of interesting then. So I'm driving VCO 1, but that's still letting me change VCO 2. I wonder why that is. Right, now let's do this thing here. So I'm going to take out this LFO 2 and I'm going to modulate something. Nick Bat. Let's think about Nick. I'm going to put them onto, yes, you got it. They're going onto square waves, and I'm going to modulate the PWM. So I can modulate the PWM of both, but I'm going to just try it, doing it to 1, to VCO 1. So with that in mind, then, do you know what? I'm going to turn off all the oscillators except for VCO 1. Just the oscillator. We'll just have that only. That'll be our only one on, which sounds like this. Ooh. Right, that's a lot higher. What did I do? What did I do? Let me take that out. Oh no! Why is that so high? So I'm in. That should be my C3 there. That's not. Okay. Let's have a look here. So let's have a listen to that LFO affecting the pulse width then. That should be a fairly easy thing to do. So I'm sending LFO 2 into the pulse width. That's using a sine wave. Triangle. Nice audio rate modulation. Ramp down. Square. See how different that sounds. Sample and hold. And is it noise or random? Not sure. Nice. Start the sequence. Let's bring in things. Oh, I need to start it here, don't I? Let's give it some sustain. Well, that doesn't have sustain. Decay. Oh dear. Oh dear. What have we got going on here? Oh my goodness! How can you make this something musical? Let's see. Where's all that sub coming from? Is that this? Oh yeah, it's from the LFO. I stay with sine for now. Let's get the sequences doing some crazy stuff. Yes, this is indeed the sound of my brain. I think we need some quality music. Yes! The time has almost come, but I've got a little tale to tell first. So, let me just rewind back to 2018 and Finlay Shakespeare, that young whippersnapper, him of Future Sound Systems, he makes some really cool modules, and teaming up with I always get mixed up. It's Chris Cutler or Chris Carter, but of Throbbing Gristle, and I think, is it Chris Cutler was from Henry Cow and Chris Carter from I get those two mixed up, but yes, who was in the mighty Throbbing Gristle and have made these collaborative modules, the Gristleizer, and very, very cool guy, Finley. But I was really surprised when I saw some footage of him performing, because he's an absolute beast of a performer. He's fantastic. And I saw a bit of footage, and then one night I had a dream, and he was in my dream, and in my dream I was making a pop video of him down by this river not far from me, and he was stood by this river, and that was my dream. And I was in this bar in Bristol talking to a friend of mine, and I told her about this dream, and I told her about it, and the moment I was just in the process of explaining the dream, Finley's walking down the road on the other side of the road at the precise moment that I'm talking about it. It's like, that's him, that's the guy. And then, so I caught up with him, and it's just going, oh man, it's like really weird. I had a dream about you. And he's like, oh yeah, what were you doing? Oh dear, I don't know if I want to be in your dreams. So I said, no, he was making a video. He said, oh, fun enough, I've got a single coming out. And I was like, it was a bit of a light bulb moment. It was like, why, let's do it. Let's make the video. And even better than that, let's go to the exact place in my dream and film the video there. And that's what we did. And yes, the lovely Rick Alpin was there that night as well, and he agreed as well to be involved in it. So so the two of us were the cameramen, and we made it, and we made the video in a day, and it's for the song Routine. And what a track for a start. I mean, it is a fantastic track. But also, to be fair, his performance in this video is actually really, really good. I was super, super impressed. He's a very cool guy. So I thought what I'll do whilst we're getting Lisa ready is I'm going to play you that song, and then let's have a go. So let's see. I got to see if I can do this. I can see the comments now. Oh yeah, you can see where the comments come from. Nice. So people are commenting in Facebook too. That's cool. Oh yeah. Okay. Finley is awesome live. He is. And when we saw him, oh my goodness, live, he was amazing. I thought I'd queued this song up, but it's gone. Sorry about this. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Let's play him there.
We could see ourselves in red lights.
All right then. There we go.
Was it dancing in the moonlight?
Oh, that's a bummer. So sorry about that. I need to figure that out. Oh, I know why. I thought it was... Sorry, this is Teeth in Trouble. I hope you can forgive me, because this is new for me. Hope you're enjoying it so far, though. I will get this song up. So you're seeing the visual, you're just not getting the sound. Oh, gosh. This should be coming through, because that's... OBS. So, if you are new to streaming like I am, I'm just getting my head around OBS, which is an open source, open broadcast studio. Is great, actually. It is really good. But I think I just haven't set up that as a audio feed, I think. I thought that was going to override it. It doesn't. I know how to do it. I will be back. In the meantime, I'm going to give you my... You probably can't hear me, actually, when I see this, so this will be good. All right, let's try this.
Have you thought of anyone else here? Start a new life, start some kind of career. When is this just gonna throw you home? Sat on New
How about that? How cool is that? I mean, that is super cool. I think that is such a cool track. Yeah. So anyway, Lisa is going to join us now. I thought I could switch it in, but I couldn't with the... So I'm going to be bringing her in now. She's going to be joining us via Skype. Hang on, let me just bring her in. She's joining us now. Here we go. It's the Skype tune. And... oh, here she is.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Hey, now. Hello. Right. So, can we just do a little check now?
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks good. And I can make you... Yeah, great. This is going to be so cool. Thank you ever so much for joining us. We have got a decent audience. I can see we've got 178 people in the YouTube chat. So, that's the first time I've just noticed that. Ah! So, Lisa, right. Whilst I just figure out how to get you full screen without... Actually, that should work. If I press this magic button, let's see. And if you talk...
Hi, everybody. How's it going, guys?
Cool. Now, I'm just going to check to see, did that actually work? Did you go full screen? Did she go full screen? And can you hear her? Yeah, it worked. Okay.
Can you...
Great. So I think I'm just going to do this slightly odd because I want to look at you, so I'm going to look this way just while we have a little chat. Now, what is the name of your beautiful studio?
I just call it Appalachian Recording.
Oh, nice. And that's are you in the Appalachians then? Is that where you are?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Wow. And how long have you been in this studio?
I guess 2 years now.
Okay. It looks well lived in now, though. I mean, you've got a lot of kit in there. Blimey. Oh, tell me, what are those big, massive monitors? They look amazing.
I love them.
What are they?
The big ones?
Yeah.
Those are 1976 microacoustics.
Okay. I've not even heard of them, I don't think.
A pair of Focal M80 studio reference monitors.
Okay, very nice. French. Where are the other ones from? Are they American then?
The Focals?
No. What did you say the name of the first ones were, please? The big ones.
Microacoustics.
I don't really know them. Are they still going?
Oh, no. I got very lucky to get another pair of these. When I was growing up, I used to work for a gentleman, and I won't name his name, but he burnt down his house for the insurance money. And one time I visited him prior, and he had these amazing speakers. And well, I showed up to work, and he's like, "Hey, I got a gift for you." And he had this, not this pair, but the same model, but they were, kind of smoky. But I had those speakers from the time I was probably 15 to the time maybe 30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They just kind of just dry rotted out. And then maybe, I don't know, 6-7 years after that, I got very fortunate to find another pair in just perfect condition.
Okay, fabulous. So could you just give us a little... Oh, gosh, look, I can see a few absolute gems there, but could you just give us a small little tour of some of the highlights in here, please? I can see so many lush things. And
yeah, it's a cool place. I mean, of course, behind me is where I spend most of my time, and it's a vintage ARP 2600 and a TTSH, my whole Moog system, what I call my mother modular. And then over here I have a Yamaha SK50D.
Ooh.
Like orchestra.
Yeah.
Has all these really cool outputs for everything.
Wow.
Leslie output as well, which I have in another room.
Oh, yeah.
My beloved Prophet T8.
Oh, classic.
which years ago I got to spend a little bit of time with Joe Zawinul.
No way.
He showed me a lot of really cool tricks with this instrument.
It's funny you should mention It's funny you should mention him because here, where is it? I will find it. I was. Let me come back to me here. Sorry, just a little aside. I was rooting round in my studio, and I found a signed poster of Joe Zawinul just in the bottom of an equipment box that I'd forgotten that I had. I mean, I remember going to the concert, but I never put this poster on the wall though, because it's a really low resolution photograph of him, and it makes his skin look really blotchy, like he's got horrible illness. And of course he sadly passed of skin cancer as well, so which just makes the poster just really not very nice even though it's signed. But anyway, I thought it is I'll grab it in a moment. Sorry, that's not a particularly nice story. Just as I realised, it was just that I just found it 2 days ago. But yeah, Joe Zawinul. So yes, sorry, that was a needless interdiction there. So tell me, so you were working with Joe Zawinul? Yeah, wow. I mean, in what context?
Years in the 90s, I was out in Los Angeles at NAMM, and very long story short, I met his sons, and his sons invited me up to Catalina Bar and Grill, where they would play every night, and I ended up being a guest of the family and just hanging around, you know what I mean, and just getting to
amazing.
Joe was so down to earth. I mean, a lot of people, you know, he was intense, but he was a real sweetheart. And
Wow.
And you know, he could tell. He was kind of telepathic. You know, he could just see you. He could read you. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, between just hanging out after shows, eventually he was like, "Okay, I want you to sit right up front the next 2 shows." And I mean, I was literally around the other side of his Prophet T8 Core Prophecy. And like, you know, through the whole show, you know, he's like doing stuff. And he's like, you pay attention, you watch. You know? And, you know, it was amazing. I mean, it was, you know, a huge impression.
Oh, God. I mean, you know, because Zawinul is, not only was he an incredible composer, I mean, In a Silent Way is actually credited as a Zawinul composition, isn't it? And great composer, but also somebody who was always seeking new timbres and new expression, and was someone embracing lots of stuff, wasn't it? You know, he
was
brought
a wicked improviser. I mean, he could light it up. You know, there wasn't a lot of it on the records.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting.
For some live, man, he could. Mercy, he could shred.
Because Wayne Shorter as well, I mean, you know, that typifies a lot of the Weather Report stuff, is quite sparse playing and sort of very ensemble playing.
Listening first, playing second.
Nice. Great. Well, so, talking about playing, would you like to play some music for us? And then,
Sure.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Oh, that would be amazing, Trill. Do you want to just play something and then we can talk about what you played, or would you like to talk about it first? Or
Playing on the Moog One. I'm building some stuff on the Moog One right now, so I'll experiment with a patch and then we'll chat for a little bit.
yeah, rock on. Thank you, Lisa. This is amazing. Wow, amazing! That's so good. I feel really honoured. It's so beautiful. I remember watching you playing in Gold Digger in Hollywood earlier this year, and was it was a great gig. And Jason Daniello joined you, didn't he, for part of that performance too? And I really, do you know, it really spoke to me as a performance, because it was that pure synthesizer sound, you know, that really just in my love of synthesizers, it really is when synths sound like synths, you know. That's, you know, like,
that's what I love the most. I love the whole spectrum. But I'm gonna go synthesized. Synthesized.
Because it's like, you know, when I first started getting into stuff, the Korg M1 came out, and that was the big the big release, which and it, you know, it's a great synth, but it really did usher into this era of synths that tried to sound like authentic other instruments, you know, and everybody was kind of getting into trying to make them sound like real stuff, and that was and everyone was kind of obsessed with that for a while, and I was sad because I was, you know, I was born in the early 70s, and so the whole kind of prog rock thing, I was way too young for it when it was actually happening. But then I was discovering it cause I was like a teenager at like 15, 16 years old, getting into bass guitar, and all the bass was so boring in all the modern stuff. And I was finding all this amazing stuff. But you see, so that led me really into all this analog synth world as well. And, you know, and I was like, that's what I think synths should sound like, not tenor saxophones, you know. So I'm sort of flapping around here a little bit with some technological kind of issues. And thank you so much for joining me today, though, because I'm just trying to figure some of this technical stuff out. So so you say you're in the Appalachians, then? That's kind of east side, is it, of the States? Yeah. So
yeah.
What state is that?
I'm not telling you.
Not telling me. All right. I should know. I should be more up on my American geography.
I'm right around in the West Virginia, Ohio.
Okay.
That vicinity.
So.
I'm playing, but yeah, that's essentially where we're located.
And so I was having a conversation earlier. Well, actually, with Jason, and talking about like the enormous, gigantic vistas that you get in the States that you just don't really get in Britain. You know, the country sort of runs out before you see that far. And I was curious.
For a long time, it was time to come back home.
Right. But I was kind of curious if the geography influences your music.
Oh, very much so. I think that for me it's a really great sort of full circle meets new life. You know, when I was coming up, I grew up in West Virginia, and developing my muse there was very unique because I basically had to fend for myself, you know, in terms of what I wanted to learn and how I wanted to learn it. And it also gave me the open-mindedness to just incorporate a lot of different things and to not develop early musical bias more than musical motivation. And so that's a unique thing about how I grew up out there, you know, and to be able to be where I'm at in life now, and to have, you know, the kind of, you know, just the place where I'm at personally. You know, just to be able to have this sort of flow with music and with music technology and studio technique, to be able to look out my window and see my child play, and it really feeds my soul. And it's easier for me to stay out of my own way, you know, as a musician.
So that's super cool to hear. So in terms of your own musical influences, then what because you're a fabulous guitarist as well. You're not just a great keys player. So you're you know, is there other instruments you play too?
Oh, I was a drummer for many years.
Okay, so you can do the whole
touring in Europe.
Oh, really?
Simona Weissenfels, and also did a record with Scotty Botcher as a drummer, and a band called Wizards, which was more of a, you know, Detroit, Chicago style free jazz type group. It was a great group. Did a lot of gigs with them, and just, you know, all over the map. You know, I mean, I think it's important to put yourself in not just musical, but socio-demographics that just, you know, they add to your vocabulary.
The vocabulary
of what you're doing.
That's a great way of putting it. That is a great way of putting it. Because I pretty much took any music job going that I could find. You know, just seeing the interconnectedness of everything. You know, so I did a season of pantomime. Oh my goodness, have you ever done pantomime in a theatre? Is hard. All the pickup cues, just you got to be really on your game on that. You know, and I wasn't. You know, I sort of thought, wow, okay, this is a tough gig.
Yeah. No, I never did theater, but I did do these these riverboat gigs.
Okay.
And they were like the history of blues music and the history of you know, jazz up to a certain point and things like that. You know, and they were really fun. But you know, you had to it wasn't quite as tightly cued like theater, but
yeah.
It was a challenge.
Yeah, but it's just saying about that thing about how it all sort of feeds in, though, and I'm always trying to recommend. Like a lot of musicians, sometimes things are a bit beneath them, so they won't do them. And actually, those kind of musicians, I typically find a bit not that interesting in their music. And I mean, I'm thinking of particular examples of people who I know of. They've kind of, you know, they kind of operate in like a Nick Cave aesthetic, for instance.
Yeah, what I find interesting about, you know, cocky musicians is the fact that they're not Alan Holdsworth.
Yeah.
And if anyone ever gets on that level,
yeah,
then it's okay to be cocky. But
yeah.
No one's done it. You know?
Yeah. Oh.
Well, then, you know, everybody should be humble.
I've been listening to some Alan Holdsworth exploring his career, actually, going to some parts that I hadn't listened to, some of his early 90s work, actually, which I hadn't really listened to before. Ooh. And I mean, wow, there's a huge career. He first came on my radar in that period when I was like 16, 17-year-old. I got the Bill Bruford album, well, the Bruford Band, which is the album One of a Kind, with Jeff Berlin on the bass, and there's some of the most scary bass playing I've ever heard. And Dave Stewart, the Dave Stewart, not David A. Stewart. Dave Stewart is awesome.
Huge influences.
Amazing. Oh, I'm so pleased you're saying that. I feel he's underrated, Dave Stewart. I think he's...
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. He is a genius. The way that he gets so much mileage out of... I think all he really used on those records was Prophet 5, Mini Moog, Fender Rhodes.
Yeah. I like that. He was great. He used a lot of like in the earlier days and like sort of Egg and Hatfield in the North. Yes, Khan. Nice.
Space Shanty is
Space Shanty, yeah, with Steve Hillage on there too. I love all that. You know. So anyway, right. I'm just looking at time. Do you think we could have a little more music?
Sure. What I'll do is I'll do a little bit of stuff with the Subharmonicon.
Yes.
Which I'm.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it?
Get more into. I really haven't had a lot of really luxurious time with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm very excited about just, you know, what you're hearing is basically some of the first stuff, you know, outside of the betas that I've had the opportunity to dig in. It's brilliant, and it's for me it's the missing piece of this amazing ecosystem by Moog.
Yeah.
And being able to have polyrhythms and polychord textures and sequences, it's brilliant the way that it sort of suggests, it makes you think about things immediately differently.
Yeah.
You know, and just opens up space for the music. And the Subharmonicon in correlation with, you know, the DFAM and the Mother 32, it's ridiculous.
Amazing. So just can you walk us through the little through the ecosystem there? So you've got
problem.
Is it 8 Mother 32s in there then?
So yeah, my system right now is 8 voices of Mother 32. So I don't always have the Moog one, you know, here in the front, but right now I'm focusing on creating a lot of new creating a lot of new sounds with the Moog one. So, I'm kind of throwing a lot of my time into that. But I have, I'll use the matriarch, and then this can be added voices just for that, or it becomes a control source for everything. These can control ARP 2600s.
Wow.
Or something can control the pair of grandmothers. And
I see.
It just becomes this beautiful workflow, and that's one of the things I love about it. So yeah, 8 voices of mothers, 2 DFAMs, and 2 subharmonicons.
Wow.
I'm pretty set. This is pretty what I've been really working hard to put together, and to just very excited to compose and improvise.
Okay, fabulous. So can we maybe get a little performance out of those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Woohoo!
That's another thing on here. So yeah. So what I'll do is I'll start off with the Mother 32 is the master clock in this particular patch.
Okay.
This time around,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes out into the subharmonicon, and then the DFAM. However, I have a lot of things. I have the DFAM controlling the phrases of some of the rhythmics of the sequences.
Ooh.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I have this particular mother as an envelope generation that goes between the DFAM. Basically, I have the DFAM's envelope generator and the Mother 32 on a VC mix that goes to this Mother 32. And then I have patched in some Afterneath reverb by Earthquaker Devices, which is a great sounding and very unique reverberator. And that's it.
Wow.
So you start off with this, bring in the DFAM, and then I'll bring in the subharmonicon.
Amazing. Wonderful. Yay! Oh, that's amazing. God, I definitely got some Joe Zawinul vibes going on then, actually. Now you've mentioned...
Why
No,
not?
yeah.
Bring a little Joe into our day today.
Ah, it's fantastic. Well, Lisa, I'd just like to say thank you ever so much for taking the time to join us and to perform. It's been like a real honour and gosh, my new show, to have such a quality guest from the start is so good. I'm sorry for some of the viewers. I've been a bit of a clumsy kludge, but I'm going to try and improve. But I mean, my goodness, so hopefully as well on the live stream we'll have nice full stereo audio.
Yes, I will send you the full mix.
Yay! Okay, superb. So I would like to just then bid you thank you again and bid you a very fond farewell and take care and hopefully join us in the future for another show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Love you bunches.
Hey! Thank you so much. Hey. Okay, wow. Wow. How amazing was that? I feel so honoured and thrilled to have had such an amazing guest join us and to play some beautiful, evocative music like that. I'm over the moon. Wow. And also very, very, very inspired. I loved some of the soloing that she was doing, especially as evocative with a nice, I don't know, Middle Eastern sort of flavour or something. Because regarding my little meagre setup, relatively blimey. But yeah, I want to be trying to sort of solo on the right here over nice patterns coming off the subharmonicon. Anyway, a few things I want to say before I wrap up the show. One is, prior to the show, I wanted to make sure everything was plugged in properly. So I did have a lovely little call with the mighty Div Kid, who I just wanted to make sure that I was plugging in things correctly. And I'd ordered some Eurorack power cables, and in my naivety, I'd ordered 16-pin to 16-pin, whereas I just needed 8-pin to 16-pin. But you can use 16-pin if you plug it half on, and it's okay. It would be probably, well, I guess better with an 8-pin, but it works fine. But I wanted to make sure that because I remember Mylar Melodies had made a little video about some of the issues that you get if you do plug things in the wrong way, and some manufacturers do things in slightly different ways, and having the idea of the red stripe on the ribbon cable down isn't necessarily something that's always going to work for you. So but Ben Div Kid is a fountain of information, and he's amazing and such a wonderful person, very helpful, and the things he's given to the community over the years is outstanding. So yeah, I just wanted to give him a shout out really, and a thank you for him helping me out. Obviously big thanks to Lisa for joining as well, and a big thank you to everyone too, and loads of really helpful comments. I'm really thank you for I am struggling a little bit here, hopefully going to get better. I know I made a bunch of mistakes tonight, so I'm going to work on that for the show next week. Now, I did mention I was going to do my reveal as well, and true to my word, I will do that. Where is the reveal? The reveal is here. So so we've got these my two modules. The next one is going to be, yes, this arrived today actually, the Radical Technologies RT1701 FX EFF multi-effects module. And I'll just read some of the summaries on here. What we've got, 2 simultaneously running main effects processors with 8 selectable effects. So we've got delay, vintage delay, chorus, phaser, flanger, rotary, I guess, pitch shifter, and string filter. And I think that's for Carper Strong stuff, so that would be cool. And then also 1 additional reverberation effects processor. So really 3 effects, well 4 effects, because 1 input stage with overdrive. So overdrive on the input stage, and then another effect, because the output section has a programmable filter EQ stage as well. So pretty this is a pretty huge effects unit really. And I think that will be the most perfect thing to go in this particular setup, because I've got my mono synth and the Subharmonicon. So both of which don't have effects. Now, it's a good old weight to this. I mean, Radical Technologies is some of the finest things in the synth world. Okay. And here it is. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit out of focus there, but yeah. Look at that. Now, so you got, two effects and a reverb. And okay. I know there's a lot of shift functionality, so that'll be interesting to see how the ergonomics of that works. And also, looking at the rack, I wonder where this is going to fit. That is like a few HP short to go in there. Okay, so we can't fit in there. That's okay. I mean, I guess above. Wow. Okay. So my big empty rack, certainly not looking so empty. I mean, that is quite a big module, but there is, gosh, look at all of the controls on that. So that's a super exciting module that is, there's a feature in that which is amazing. And it's a feature that you find in some of the other Radical Technologies modules, which is an interpolator. And I am really excited about that. So basically, the center, you can have different snapshots, and the snapshots are the entirety of the effects. So both effects units, and the reverb, the filters, and the drive, I guess, and then create another snapshot, and so forth, and then you're able to modulate and morph between the snapshots. Yeah, that's super cool. Being able to morph between, like, I'm looking forward to morphing between different kind of reverb sizes, you know, and the darkness of reverbs as well. So, you know, modulating reverb parameters is amazing, is something well worth trying out. And also modulating some of the kind of chorus type things. So this is a stereo effect, but I think you can put a mono signal into it too. Now, but this may in fact kind of lead to what would be the next thing to do, because we've got stereo input here now, but I'm assuming that if I take a mono out from the Mini Brute and a mono out from the Subharmonicon and put them into the inputs, then they're going to be hard panned. So I might need to look into getting some sort of mixer, something where I can perhaps put that's got a stereo send on it, and the stereo send can go to the Radical, and then that might be an interesting way to go next. So, but anyway, next week's show, which will be Wednesday 8 p.m. UK time, is going to be about looking at this effects unit. What I will do for that time, though, is I can't resist it, I'm sorry. I will have had a little play with it. So really next week, I'm going to hopefully show you some of those interpolation effects, some of these kind of morphing between different... I can imagine, you see, with the Subharmonicon, just being able to slowly morph into different acoustic spaces, or, you know, simulated acoustic spaces, I think could be something mind-blowing. So tune in next Wednesday, as I say, 8 p.m. And thank you once again to Lisa Bella Donna for joining us. And wow, that's a thrill. And again to Ben and to everybody else who's helped. Thank you so much. I'm Gaz Williams. I still am Gaz Williams. I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna say goodbye and thank you ever so much for joining us. Yeah, we are an us. We're a community, and we're a proud, lovely, worldwide community I'm super proud to be part of. Okay, take care, everybody, and see you soon.